Welcome back. Are you ready for Say What? And today we're going to be talking about sex, hormones, and why your marriage is probably arguing with your endocrine system. And we've got Pastor Sue here with us. But first, let's look at the question of the day. We've got a question for you. Just look at your screen. There we go. The question of the day is men and women, who has it worse at midlife? Menopause or low testosterone? This is when we need Willis, the words master, to help us pronounce those words. But yes, please join us in this conversation. You can send your comments on our WhatsApp line. It's right there on your screen. You can also follow the live show happening on the YouTube at TV47KE, and you can share on our socials as well. So keep the conversation going. Let's have this very interactive. Now, with me in the studio is someone that you have seen many, many times in this studio. But today she's coming wearing two different hats. She's coming as an expert who's been dealing with men who are dealing with a lot of erectile dysfunction and all matters bedroom. And also she comes with the hat of a marriage counselor. And so we are going to see, because she has been, I think, by virtue of counseling people, she's been on both sides of the divide. Bedroom matters. Okay, welcome, Pastor Sue. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Wakio.
I am so happy that you were able to respond to our call. Karibu sana. It's always a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you very much.
What an exciting topic this is.
Wow, it's an exciting topic, and that's where I thrive. I just love it.
And it was so difficult to actually get a man to join us in this conversation. What would you say about that?
I think it's because andropause, which is the menopause for men, is associated with impotence, in the sense that when a man is told he has andropause, most people think he's not okay sexually. But I want to say this is a natural occurrence to every person. As long as you are from 40, above 50, 60, you will get into this if you are a man, andropause, while women go to menopause. And so this is not something that we should be shy of. We should know this is a transition that we go through. And when well managed, we can also overcome it very well and go through when we are successful. Yes.
Let's not get very serious very quickly, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
So let's just start with some level of warm-up. What is one thing that you hear from couples when they come to your to seek your advice, especially when it comes to matters sexual in their relationship, that makes you cry and also makes you laugh at the same time?
Oh, yes. Yeah, many times. I think for me, I handle men more when they come and they tell me they are not able to function sexually. They have erectile dysfunction. When the penis is not able to stand to the occasion and perform what it's supposed to do.
I like that.
And so, he's not able to stand. So the mind wants, but the penis is not able to stand. And it's a very frustrating scenario for a man, because he really wants, but it seems like there's no coordination. And also, most of the men also who have ever done masturbation, probably when they were in secondary, in primary, when they were in campus, or something happened and the wife was not around, those who have distance marriages. So you find most of them wananyonga, and when they masturbate, it's like it also affects the performance of a man. Men who have also had conditions like diabetes, hypertension, autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, people who have had challenges in their body. There's one thing on another that is not okay. They also have a challenge in rising up to the occasion. And so this really frustrates men, and unfortunately, men don't want to talk about it. So they are silent. So the people that really suffer are the women. And so the woman keeps on telling the man, you go to the hospital. But because there is no pain, the man feels he's okay. And so this woman keeps on getting frustrated. And that's why you're finding so many women right now are really going out. That's just that women are moving out of their marriages for sexual satisfaction even more than men. Why? When a man is not able to function effectively and perform, toatoa vizuri, in a good way. So what happens? This woman is left, hanging, is left feeling, because she knows the sweetness of this thing, and now it seems like it has been deprived. And this man seems like he's not cooperating. So most women tend to, I'm not advocating that, but most women do that. They go out to seek for the same, would I say, satisfaction that they had with the man. And it's important for men not to shy. Men should not shy. They should not feel like this thing should never happen to me. Hii si ugonjwa ya wanyama. This is sickness to people. Erectile dysfunction is is to human. And so when that happens, seek medical advice so that now you can be guided on what you need to do, because some of these things is just an adjustment of a few things, and the testosterone just rises up to the occasion.
Also, it's reversible,
It is reversible. Yes,
but let's get to
it
the
is.
definitions. What is menopause and what is andropause?
Menopause, the way we talk about it, is when a woman ceases to have her periods for exactly 1 year. For example, if you stopped having your menses from January and you are now in another January, that's menopause.
Okay.
You get premenopause is when a woman sometimes sees her menses, disappears for 1 month or 2 months, comes back again. Then you are in premenopause. But menopause, you've not received monthly period for a whole full month. And most it begins from 51, 52 and above. That's when most women will go to full menopause. But before then, there's a lot of heavy menses. Sometimes it is light. Sometimes it skips. There's a lot of low abdominal pains. There's a lot of before premenopause is what actually begins. Then now you get into menopause. Andropause also for men can also get in, I think from almost 45 years, others 50 years, because there are other factors that can bring that early. And so men do go andropause and then women go menopause.
But there's many people,
yes,
Pastor Sue, who say that andropause is like a myth.
No,
like
it's
just a story. Hearsay. Maneno tu ya wanawake trying to rope us into their own shenanigans. What would you say about such thoughts?
The testosterone is the hormone that is the male hormone. That's what makes the man to be a man. The features of a man having, beards, having broad shoulders, having all sexual, would I say the vitality of a man is anchored on this testosterone. And so when the testosterone goes down, that's when you find a man now having low sex drive, having erectile dysfunction sometimes, because something has gone down for one reason or the other. Probably
Yes.
the age also can also bring that. There are many factors that comes in. And so when that happens, and testosterone comes out from the testes. Actually, that's where it comes from. And it is actually made from cholesterol, good cholesterol. Even women, we also make hormones from good cholesterol. And so it's very important for people to know that also food plays a very big role in maintaining either your premenopause and andropause in the right way. But meaning that you have reached andropause does not mean that you stop now having sex. No, you just have to adjust a few things, and the testosterone, when it goes up, you begin again. Just like the way, the many times you used to go, you might not go them, but at least you're able to rise up to the occasion 3 or 4 times in a week. And that is enough. Oh, yes.
Probably too much. Have you gone, let me put you on the spot now.
Yes.
Have you gone through menopause yourself?
Yes.
What are some of the horror stories? Because I hear a lot of horror stories about
goodness.
what goes on when someone is going through menopause.
When someone is going through menopause, of which now I am right now, is that there's a lot of hot flashes. And these hot flashes comes into your head, on the face, on your neck, on your chest. And you just feel that hot flashes that comes very strong, and all of a sudden it disappears. And that keeps a woman, off guard. It's like it catches you off guard. And you feel this is not what you are used to. Remember, this is something that has begun. Another thing that you experience is dry vagina. Before it was munyu, but now
what is munyu?
Munyu means you just, when the man wants to come, it just comes in. But now it is like a hairy desert.
Allah.
You are so dry. You have that dry, dryness of your vagina. Another thing that I've also experienced is feeling like mood swings. Sometimes you just feel like you're sad. Other times you just feel like you're happy. You have extreme mood swing. You feel also anxious. Sometimes insomnia. You're not able to sleep as you used to sleep before because you are waking up because these hot flashes just messes your sleep. And you wake up, you open the windows, you open the door, you go and if some people even shower at night, just pour themselves cold water because they are feeling they're really in a very funny situation. So these are the things that I have encountered, but I'm very positive about them. And one of the things that I have seen that really works very well is taking care of your diet. Like one of the things I encourage that I wish everybody can know is eating food according to your blood group. It's an amazing thing. Much more as you're going through menopause, you find it's like it reduces the tenacity, the extent of it when you eat food right. Like you reduce much of starch, you concentrate more with the proteins and vegetables. And if there are fruits, you avoid the sugary ones. You take like things like thorn melon, green apple, blueberries, you know, these things that really don't have much sugar. It helps you to maintain your menopause without having many challenge. So food plays a very important role when it comes to managing your menopause. Another important thing I've also seen is reducing stress. And one of the things I tell people, before you are 45 or 50 years, avoid debts. If there is something that can mess menopause, is when you have debts. Because debt makes you feel like you have a mental disorder. You know, you have debts. For example, you have like 4 debts. I tell people who are approaching menopause, when you're in menopause and you have debts, it can also make your immunity go so low. And you start being susceptible to chronic conditions like diabetes, hypertension, because you are stressed, you are not sleeping, you're not eating well, you eat late, you don't eat, you're funny. You just find yourself like you're not operating well. And so money plays a very important role when you're in menopause, because when you have too much debts, number one, your libido already is down. And probably your wife is when she's now up. Most of the women, even in menopause, really come up very strongly. So you find that's when now the man has stress, he's not able to perform, and there's a lot of confusion and conflict because it seems like we are not reading from the same script. Money, paying, making sure you have no bills as you approach 50 years. 50 years and going to 60 really helps you to manage because you have reduced the stress by almost 90% because most of the stress
economy. So men are out there looking for money for their families. Sasa wako na shida maradufu.
Yes.
Shida ya pesa, shida ya biology, alafu ndoa sasa inaharibika.
Naam.
How do you really help them to navigate, especially when they come into your office and they're sharing these experiences with you? How do you help them to navigate? You've mentioned that
yes,
some marriages actually fail because of this period of time.
Yes.
And it's biology.
Yes.
So how do you help them understand and be able to navigate and understand? Yes,
I think one of the things that I do at Clay City Medical Center in Kasarani, we've been there for the last now 25 years, is that I sit down with this man and walk the journey. Even the woman, let her accept that this is a biological changes and we can do nothing about it. Stopping the menses is part of our life and it's not long. If you are 65 or 70, you find that menopause goes and it's like your body goes back again to another mode where your body is not in that, you know, that state of feeling the body is misbehaving, like having hot flashes, feeling like you have low libido, you are sweating, feeling dry vagina. Sometimes you feel horny, sometimes you don't feel like. So there are a lot of things that happens when you're in menopause. But when you have a right mindset and you understand that this is something that I should be prepared for, it helps you to navigate. Though the challenges are there, you are able to navigate because you understand that this is something that I must go through it. And so men and women need to seek more help, especially in medical centers. Come, we sit down and go through the andropause, go through what are the signs and symptoms. Like I've seen most of the men, they really have a very low, they just look tired. You just look at this man and he just looks tired. And though he's tired, he's on the phone. So the wife cannot understand, how can you be on the phone? And when we go to bed, you're not able to do tuatua. Not remembering that there's a direct connection between, you know, this andropause that has come, muscle wasting. Some of the men also increase weight. They are not sleeping enough. As you are saying, they have bills that they need to pay. So if you are not able to manage your stress, especially financial stress and relationship stress, then this will affect your sexual life. Hence, most people divorce and separate at that particular time. I've met so many people who are in menopause and everybody sleeps their own bedroom because they feel this man is no longer useful sexually. But it's important for couples to understand when this season comes, work together, comfort one another, you know, give each other emotional support because today it's you, another day it is him. So that support really helps because I've also seen Pastor Munene helping me. You find him at night opening the doors or opening the windows because I'm saying it's too hot. Instead of me coming out, he gives me that support. It's very important for a couple to know that they are passing through this and it's not permanent. Just 10, 15 years and this will be all right.
10, 15 years? Yes. You make it look like it's 5 months. But yes, because there are certain things that will happen and maybe there'll be a turn off to your spouse.
Yes.
Say, for instance, if you are sweating too much at night and it becomes uncomfortable for the person who's sharing a bed with you.
Yes.
So those could bring some of those problems.
That could be because women, even men sweat when they are andropause, but the women are more. So what you're supposed to do at that particular time, what I tell women, have as many bed sheets as possible, so that you keep changing and your partner doesn't feel like you're uncomfortable. Like even during toa, you find the woman is really sweating. You're sweating excessively, and so that can easily put your partner. One of the greatest things that I tell women, avoid using so much of spray. These colognes that are very strong. Remember, most of the colognes have parabens and they have thiorates, and these things can affect more of your endocrine. Endocrine system is the system that controls our hormones. And so one of the things I tell women is make lemon your best friend. After showering, jipake ndimu with a little bit of bicarbonate of soda, so that even as you're sweating, that sweat is not smelly, Make sure that you brush your teeth before you go to sleep. Make sure that hygiene is okay. Keep on cleaning your joy well as many times as possible, Clean it. Instead of wiping with the flushable wipes and the tissue papers that people use, clean it more and then have a towel that you can just wipe, just to make yourself that you are comfortable to yourself also and to your partner. But the most important thing is accept that this is a stage and keep changing the bed sheets if need be, and keep on putting light clothes and mostly cotton so that they can absorb that heat. Make sure that you don't forget your hanky or a towel just to keep yourself comfortable. This is a process that will not remain forever, and so we need to take it with a lot of positivity, because when you put it like menopause is stress, then the body also gets so stressed and it produces a lot of cortisol hormone. Cortisol hormone is the hormone that is responsible for stress, and it's produced by the adrenal glands. On top of your kidney, there are glands that are called adrenal glands. When you're stressed, they release cortisol hormone. Cortisol hormone is the stress hormone. When you are stressed, then the body goes into another mode altogether. So it is good to accept that these are changes. You might not have the drive that you had before. There are women whom sexual drive also goes down. Also, there are women who also become very horny extreme than their husband. So that balancing is very important. You have to discuss this as a couple so that you know where do you meet to avoid a lot of conflict because of the changes that have come.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
This calls for dialogue and also calls for personal responsibility.
Oh,
as
yes,
you have
my
said,
dear.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And we had a question up, and I'd like my director to put it back up, and Pastor Sue, you'll be the first one to answer this question. And the question of the day was right there on our screen: men and women, who has it worse at midlife, menopause or low testosterone? We will start with you, Sue, because you are right in the smack in the middle of it. And keep your comments coming. We really want to hear from you. Our WhatsApp line is right there on your screen.
Yes.
And communicate with us. Tell us, what are your thoughts on this question? Pastor Sue,
wow. Let me begin with the women. It's not easy, because you can imagine sometimes you have your menses, and especially those who are in premenopause. Sometimes your menses are so heavy. Other times you don't know when they are coming. So psychologically you are somehow not very stable. Yeah, because there's all these things that are happening in your body. You have now started having this belly fat that we have. This abdominal fat comes because of premenopause and menopause. There's also a sleeping pattern that is not really consistent. So I think both men, but I think women really go much. But the challenge with the men, it's only manifested through sex. But the women, there's a lot of emotional, instability within us when we are in menopause. There's this discharge that is coming out, which is your menses. Sometimes it's light, sometimes it's heavy, sometimes you don't know when it's going to come. I think the woman has a lot of psychological, changes that happens within her. But for the man, men still stay strong. Even when they are down, that testosterone gives them that masculine energy to just keep on. I think for a man, it's just manifested when he's not able to perform sexually. But for a woman, you're able to tell, no, this woman is in menopause. Mood swing is more so to us, equally to men. But most men who have been able to control their emotions, most of them do not react. You find they really know how to act rightly. But women can go off guard. You find yourself quarreling with everybody. You have tantrums. You are cranky. You are uncontrolled temper. You have a temper that is uncontrolled. When things are not done your way, you shout at people, you wail. Well, there are men also who do that, but women are more affected by menopause. That's what I see, more than the men. The men, it's more on the sexual area, more. Yeah.
And that's, I think, the center of their manhood. And I think that's why they don't even talk about it more.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
What can we do in our marriages or in our relationships to encourage these conversations?
I think one of the things that we need to know is such forums. Such forums are very important because we are able to speak about what is menopause, andropause, and people are able to understand that this is something that is coming. As long as you're going to your 50s, to your 60s, this is something that you must encounter as long as you are a man and a woman. It's just like monthly period, that as long as you're a woman, you must get your menses. As long as you're a man, you must go through wet dreams. So this is something just like the way we received it with a lot of positivity when we began our menses and when men began their wet dreams. Correct. So is it when now this menopause and andropause comes. So that comes with the mindset. The mind must be prepared that this is a journey that I'm gonna walk, and this journey is alone, but I need to know that these are the changes that will happen, and how do I navigate that? Like I keep telling people, there's nothing so powerful when you're in menopause like sunshine. People don't stay indoors. When you're in menopause, make sure for 20 minutes between around 10 to around 4 p.m., make sure you go out, bask for 10, 20 minutes, get vitamin D. It also regulates all that because you need vitamin D as you age. You know, it's very important to also get zinc. People should eat nuts, you know, cashew nuts, peanuts, almonds, walnuts, you know, these things. Pumpkin seeds are also very rich with zinc. Zinc plays a very important role. So you need to do something extra. Make sure even as you're supplementing, your food is okay. Avoid junk food, spicy food, alcohol. You can't be you're in menopause and you're drinking at your crate. My dear, you are going to go to Sayuni very fast. Because now, one of the things that you damage is your liver. And your liver has over 500 functions in a day. The liver of every person. And so when the liver is messed, everything else goes in disarray. So we have to make sure that we avoid spicy food, things like alcohol, things like smoking, you know, things that destroy the body. You must make sure that you are in charge of your health, because at that age of menopause, that's when most people get diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, cancer comes in. Yeah. And remember, some of these diseases takes longer. Like cancer takes about 10 years for it to be diagnosed. What do you call it? High blood pressure takes about 10 to 15 years for it to be diagnosed. Diabetes can take about 5 years to 10 years to be diagnosed. So these are things, if you change your lifestyle, you're going to have a very good menopause. And you must avoid these, processed foods. You know, a lot of drinks that have a lot of sugar. At that age, we are supposed now to take the natural things. We avoid much of these sugary things so that now your liver can be able to operate at the optimum. Food plays a very important role, and drinks plays a very important role in managing your andropause and managing your menopause. But unfortunately, at that age of 50s and 60s, that's when we feel we have achieved. So we would drink. After all the children are now educated. They're even giving you money. So you end up, you not go 70 before you have gone to be with the Lord. So you have to be very purposeful about what you eat and what you drink and the state of your mind at that particular time. And I keep telling women, during 40 years to 50 years, work on your mind, learn to forgive, learn to let it go. Because when you carry so much burden about your husband who is not supporting you, children who are undisciplined, if that goes with you, you find most of the people get into dementia. They start having mental disorders, and one of it is dementia. You start having memory loss because you have too much burdens, you have too much stress that is in your mind. So from 40 years to 50 years, every man and woman must learn how to forgive and let it go. And we stop having this thing I call entitlement. You know, feeling that I'm entitled. You can keep on getting angry every day. For example, let me give an example. Let's say I'm working in TV 47, and Pastor Munene I tell him that I'm leaving at around midnight. And he tells me, I'll come to pick you at 12:15. Then peradventure, something just happened and he's not able to come. And he tells me, please, madam, pick a Uber, come at home. If I have not worked on my emotions, that can become a night of quarrel. You told me to wait.
First of all, you called me madam.
You even called me madam. You never even called me your wife. If you knew you were not coming for me, ungeniambia kitambo. And maybe something has just happened. Entitlement can really make you angry at menopause. Remember, your hormones are going up, down, down, up. So if you're also not emotionally controlled, you can be so toxic to each other, a husband and a wife. You can also be very toxic to your children. And that's why you find our children running away. Unasema, we, mom, siku hizi sijui ni nini. You know, they run away, and you are left there lonely, you go into depression, and you're the one who is chasing people because you've not been able to take charge over your emotions. And so that's one of the things I see, very, very important. Between 40 and 50 years, any man, any woman who is able to stop entitlement of anything, and when something happens, you become thankful. It's okay, you've come for me, well and good. It's not like you must come for me, you must do this, you must do this. No, those must also messes your thinking. And now you have this body that is also changing, and the muscle is also wasting. You're also having a big tummy. You're also having, the hair is also dry. You're also having challenges of vision. So the body is also changing, and so emotionally you need to be stable for you to walk andropause and menopause, being psychologically sober. Your heart is sober and physically you are sober. Also, another important thing that I see very important is making sure that if you are, that's the time to be very spiritual. Between 40 years kuendelea, you need to be very spiritual, so that now your spirit man or your heart is in charge of the mind and the body. Because sometimes the body can misbehave, and you keep challenging yourself with your belief system, and you say, no, I'm not going to get annoyed because he has not come to pick me. I can take a Uber and go home. It's as well as that. But now when you allow yourself to, petty things keep on hurting you, you even make your menopause more difficult. So the psychological state, the mental state of a person matters a lot in walking menopause successively, or getting stuck and even feeling you don't want anyone around you. So your mental status plays a very big role, equally as food.
Pastor Sue,
oh yes,
that was so insightful.
Wow, thank you.
I realized that there's so many moving parts.
Yes.
It's not just about the biological changes, the hormonal changes that are happening within you. You have to be aware of your spiritual well-being. You have to be aware of your diet, your nutritional, the inputs that you're putting into your body in terms of nutrition. And someone here has actually sent a message to you.
Wow.
On our WhatsApp line, says, huyu mama amenifunza sana. Nitamwalika kwa kanisa yetu aje afunze watu. Thanks, mom, for good words.
Thank you so much.
That was super
wow,
insightful.
Thank you.
And I think it's very enlightening to know that it's not just one, it's a layered process. It's so many other things that are affecting.
Yeah, menopause and andropause involves your spirit man, that is your heart.
Correct.
It also involves the state of your mind and also your body. The two must go a journey together. But make sure that your spiritual life is higher than the mind and the body. You walk it very comfortably because you understand who you are, not from your partner, not from the surrounding, not what the body is speaking, but from what your belief system is. If you are a Christian, you know what the word of God says. So you walk that path without putting blame. Hamuja nipikia? Sasa hamuja fungua madirisha? You keep on, it's like everybody should understand you're in menopause. No. Walk it nicely. Have a good heart. Have a good tone. You get the point. If you feel dryness, buy KY jelly. Those of us who are in a menopause and tuatua is becoming difficult because you are becoming dry, buy KY jelly. Wacha kutumia mate ate tututupa. No, don't use saliva. Yes, use KY jelly. At other times you can also, there are things that you can take, foods that can make your body also become, a bit, lubrication can also come. So
please help our audience. What are those foods, especially when we're talking about the diet that someone needs to go through when they're going through menopause or andropause? What are some of those foods that they really need to focus on?
Excellent.
During
one of the greatest food that is very important when you are going through menopause and andropause is proteins. And we are talking of animal proteins, especially the chicken, the eggs, the fish, the what do you call it, the turkey meat, rabbit, those meat that can give you, and mostly those that have fat. Okay. In fact, animal fat is not dangerous to human consumption. These other seed oils are the ones that are really dangerous to our human consumption. So any oil that involves animal protein is quite good. Extra virgin olive oil, I'm just mentioning them because olive oil is very good. So you make sure that your food has enough oil. Did you know that if you ever eat vegetables that are not cooked and you forget to put oil, that vegetable gets in and comes out standing? It doesn't help you.
You lie.
Oil helps absorption of iron. it breaks down those minerals that needs to be assimilated in your small intestines, where we have the villi. There's a place inside there. There are billions of them where absorption takes place. So oil is very good when you're taking raw vegetables like kachumbali. We should not take kachumbali kachumbali the way we make it. We must put oil, so that it can help us benefit from the nutrients that are in raw vegetables. Another thing is what I've said is nuts. Make sure that you're eating nuts, especially nuts that are full of zinc. Like pumpkin seeds are also very good. Pumpkin also is very good. Anything that has zinc, nuts. Most of the nuts also have that. Make sure that you are eating that. So when it comes to starches, use more of complex starches. Complex starches are what? Like ndoma, arrowroots, sweet potatoes, malenge, yams, matoke, plantains, those things that are a bit complex. Avoid this wheat that has so much gluten, ugali that is really sieved, is grade 1.
High fiber.
Yeah, high fiber. Make sure that you're eating well. Vegetables also play a very big, and especially cruciferous, things like broccoli, cauliflower, vegetables, especially managu, terere, the normal green vegetables that we have. Because for the purpose of eating green vegetables is to get iron, and your body cannot make blood without iron. Are you aware, according to the Ministry of Health right now, that 20 million Kenyans are anemic? 20 million Kenyans are anemic. Why? Because we are not eating food right. Yes, we eat green vegetables, but these green vegetables are not eaten right. They are eaten wrongly, in the sense that when you mix some other foods, absorption of some minerals is interfered with. And so I think we need to let people know your health is so important and very paramount. And that's why it's very important to create time to go to the hospital. Not when you get sick. Just go sit down, pay consultation fee to a doctor or to a nutritionist. Most of them are really idle. Let them come and explain to you and have good health. Without good health, you cannot be able to go through menopause and andropause the right way. So it's very important for us to know mental health plays a very big role. Your spiritual life also plays a very big role. And food takes care of this big body. When you do that, you are balanced. You are okay, because the totality of you is now whole. So it is possible to go through menopause and andropause, even reach 70 years when you are strong and wonderful. You're looking young and promising.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
Young and promising, going through menopause. That's lovely to hear.
Wow.
And you've shared with us what the symptoms are. You've shared with us some of the things that people can change in their lifestyle, so that they can be able to go through it safely and in a good way, as you've said.
Yes.
But how do you start this conversation with your spouse? Because that's where the disconnect is.
Yes.
We cannot believe that just a diet change could save a marriage. So how do you start this conversation with your spouse?
Wow. I think for us, I think exposure is important. What we did is we surrounded ourselves with people who are a bit older than us. And so we would see how they are talking, and we would say, we're also going there. We're also going there. When you surround yourself with people who are knowledgeable, they also help you to also see life from a different perspective. One of the things that I would encourage couples to do, and especially if you are from 45 years and above, that's midlife crisis. And that's when we have now, there are a lot of expectations that have not been met, and others have also been met. So there's a lot of excitement.
Yes.
One of the things that keeps a marriage and a husband and a wife together is communication. Communication in relationship and in marriage is important as blood is to the body. The reason why we are seated and those who are watching us are listening to us is because blood is flowing through them. Learn to communicate, non-verbal communication and verbal communication. And one of the things that we do, if we need, let's say, for example, I need Pastor Munene on Twatwa, I just text him, darling, today I want you to humble me. Just something like that.
Ooh.
Yes, so that he comes prepared, that today it is a day of humbling my wife. You get the point? We have those words, those words that are sweet.
I thought the word of God said, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord. But then again, he's your Lord at that point.
Yeah, to that time he's the Lord. So you have to have a communication that offers kind words and kind action. The challenge with the married people is what I've still said, entitlement. I want to speak to Munene like I'm speaking to my younger son. No, Munene is not my son. He's my husband.
Yes.
And especially if you are married to a good man like Pastor Munene, who is very understanding, and a man who is not petty, a man who is a man. I think unless you have another person who is funny, you know, we have different men. But if you are married to a man whom you can be able to reason and be able to sit down and tell him, Daddy, I have realized the way we were doing toa last year, things have really changed. Kwani mefika andropos? What is that? Can we study it? Now today we have Chat GPT, we have Google, we have a lot of information on YouTube. Why don't you put just something and listen about andropause, listen about menopause, learn something, and then munaanza kujongoana. Hii sign uko nayo. Hii sign, you know, make it beautiful. Not all the time on things that are not really helping us. Let's concentrate also on our relationship, because when twatwa is not okay between a husband and a wife, nature does not allow vacuum. That's why you're finding so many women are really using dildos, because when a man goes only for 1 minute, it is like he has gone for 15 minutes. But when a man goes for 1 minute, that woman cannot be satisfied sexually. And so what is happening? Our girls, our women, the married women are going for dildos are being bought Wakio in this country like nobody's business. Women are really going to masturbating. Why? They fear to tell their husband that you are really coming very fast, you have premature ejaculation. And when I tell you, you become defensive. So what do I do if I've said twice thrice? So what women do, they go and look for alternative. But looking for the alternative is not the solution. Because if you get used to a dildo, you will never get used to a man. A man will never satisfy you. So you thought you were going for a solution, yet you have created a more bigger problem. And so I want to say, let couples and people who are in relationship learn to communicate openly. And people should not feel that sex is a taboo in marriage. Sex is dirty. Sex should not be spoken. And that is the same thing you do every night. I mean, we are just hypocritical. If really I can put my legs up on Munene, why don't I talk also to him? Because your wife is your customer. Your husband is your customer. You want to know, is your customer okay with your services on toa, so that you know where do you improve. Anakuambia hapana, uja nipikia kauji, unafanya hivi, hii chakula unanipikia indomie, mchele, inaniweza. Why don't you cook, substance, food that can make a man feel that he can be able to perform? So we need to communicate. Communication is very paramount.
Wait, okay, sawa.
Yes.
Haya, karibu tukuweke hapa juu ya meza we turn it into your pulpit. Umesema ni customer yako?
Yes, your wife is your customer and your husband is your customer.
And every week is customer week.
We must you must get feedback. You see, like in most of the corporate, even our facility, we have a place for suggestion, because we want to know, have we given the customers there? And we prefer the ones who tell us negative things, not people who tell us, hey, this hospital is very clean, this people is very organized. No, I want someone who says, I didn't like the way the receptionist looked at me. You see, that's where you improve. And when we go for these meetings, that's where we improve. And by so doing, we get more money. So if that's what we do in our businesses, so that we can get money, suppose you also get a feedback from your spouse on how you are moving on. I think, my wife, you are really sweating a lot and you are really smelling. Is there something you can do? Instead of the man shifting and going to another room, because he feels if he tells you, do you know, the greatest dilemma in marriage is to correct each other. Because people have not been friends. You must be a friend to each other for you to be able to correct. If you are smelling, you have not brushed your teeth, something is not right. Your hair. Some of the women stay with the hair for a very long time. Inaanza kunuka. So the man does not want to tell you, but he's feeling uncomfortable. Just a small, simple thing like that. So communication must be our anchor. As in relationship, in marriage, those who are in menopause, those who are in premenopause, those who are in andropause, communication on everything, verbal and non-verbal communication.
And I think you've answered this person who was asking, what if akasirike?
You see now.
Because it means that there was no friendship to begin with, and that makes communication extremely difficult.
Very.
But there's also someone who's talked about, you mentioned about pre-ejaculation.
Yes.
And we have one of our listeners here who's actually shared a personal testimony. Say, anauliza, kwa nini mwanaume anamwaga kabla hajaingia ndani yake? Niambie niko na hiyo shida.
Number one, if you are there and you did masturbation, whether you are in masturbation does not forgive you. So what it does, there are three things that it destroys. Remember, the penis of a man has no bone. It's a muscle, and these muscles are cylindrical. So what happens when a man takes his hand, the hands have phalanges. Phalanges, metacarpal and carpal. Remember, the vagina has no bone. So when a man takes his penis and begins to rub, It's like the penis senses, no, this is not the texture of a vagina. This grip is so strong. And so the brain, when the body is subjected to something it's not used to, the brain now coordinates. And that's why you find most of the men who have done masturbation, one of the things they get is penis atrophy. The penis becomes small. You see, it becomes small. Then the veins meander. The veins meander because imefinywa. Inikufinywa, you're getting that. And then another thing, you get a condition we call hypersensitivity, such that when you go to have, to a tour with your wife, because the temperature of the vagina of a woman is constant. Na hii yako, ili umwage, you are generating it. Let's say, for example, you are generating it. The woman is 100%. Yako ili umwage is 52. So that means when you get into the woman, the temperature is too high than what it is used to. So what happens? The man comes immediately and ejaculates. And that's what we call now premature ejaculation. And one of the things I tell the men, if you're there, you did masturbation. Some of these people did when they were so innocent. They even didn't know whether to have masturbation. Don't shy. Come. We rectify that. We have medications that can reverse all these side effects. Yeah, and they're available. Another thing also that can cause that is when a man has stress. When you have so much unresolved conflict between a husband and a wife, that can also cause erectile dysfunction, and the man feels put off, because you are quarreling, and when you quarrel, you even, some of us becomes even do character assassination. So the person is wounded emotionally, and so you're not able to connect. You know what, the way the body is made? If the body continues to produce testosterone and it is not being used, the brain tells the testes, stop producing more. Because you are not getting used. It's just like from today, if I start not using this hand, I keep it like this, the muscle begins to waste. And that's why it's very important for couples to learn how to solve conflicts as they come. So that can be, stress can also be a cause. Another thing is diabetes. There are men who are diabetic, they have hypertension, they have a chronic condition, but they are not aware. Because rarely will they come to hospital. If you see a man coming to hospital, he's either cancer iko stage 4, ameshindwa na kupupu, ameshindwa na kukonjoa. Yani something that is really, an emergency. But women are able to come to hospital quite early. And I think that's why the mortality rate in men is higher than the women. Because women, when they get something, they seek medical advice. But you find most of the men, they will stay having never gotten sick, and then they get sick, they go. So it's good to be checked, your diabetes, your hypertension, how is your prostate. There's a test we do just to check how your PSA are. All these things are very important. And when you know that you're okay, then it becomes very easy for you to overcome these things. Another thing also, why men also have such challenge.
I'll give you 30 minutes.
Yes.
30 seconds, not 30 minutes. 30 seconds to wind that up, because time is not on our side.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Let me say this, that if you are there and you are a man and you have erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, you did masturbation and you're not able to satisfy, your wife keeps on telling you, unamwaga haraka. Women will speak out their mind. Please take that statement serious. And we have a medical center in Kasarani at Season Stage. The first right turn, utaona Clay City Medical Center. We've been there for the last almost 25 years. When you come there, I and other medical doctors, we are able to treat you, reverse these conditions. If you're there, you have diabetes, you have hypertension, you have cancer, you are moving on with your chemotherapy, radiotherapy. When you come, we are able to give you palliative care. And at the end of the day, make sure that we prolong your life so that you can live long. And so I want to say such diseases are reversible. Diabetes, hypertension, cancer, all these things that we feel like Mathias gravis, MS diseases, thyroid, autoimmune diseases, all these diseases, most of them are actually brought by the foods that you eat and the things that you drink. When you come in Clay City Medical Center, we walk the journey with you and we are able to help you. My number is 0712 265 746. If you want to call me and get get our attention and medical attention, 0712 265 746. That's my personal number. And when you come, we will help you in everything that you are going through. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Sue. I think we can wind it there.
Yes.
And this conversation is going to be on YouTube still. So please go to our YouTube page, TV47KE, and find this conversation. Make sure you share your experiences, your thoughts there. And I think Pastor Sue will also be passing by there so that we can share our insights as well. This has been such an insightful conversation. And if you found it a little bit uncomfortable, well, good, because then it applies to you. you. That wraps up TV 47 Prime. I'm Wakio Mzenge. Our sign language interpreter was Rodney Mayan. From all of us here in the studio, we want to wish you all a very good night.